Good evening, YouTubers. Dave here from Funky Sloth Comic and Collectibles, and today is Sunday, March 21st, 2021. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. Being today is a Sunday, it is my weekly movie TV talk video, and tonight I have two topics. Usually I have a little bit more, but two topics tonight because one of them is going to take a while to discuss. The two topics for tonight will be Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the biggie is Justice League Snyder Cut. As I always do, uh, my little weekly weather report from Vermont, and today got up about 56 degrees today. Sun's out, gorgeous day. Can't ask for a much better second day of spring here in Vermont. Like I said, gorgeous. Snow is melting, sap is running for the maple syrup, but how much longer that's going to run with the temperatures I've got. So, alrighty, so let's get started. Like I said, I only have two topics for tonight. And the first topic is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 1. Um, I like it. I like it. Started off pretty strong for first episode. So, WandaVision has been done for 2 weeks, and it's like everybody's forgot about it. And the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier dropped on Disney Plus on Friday. And it's pretty much an espionage adventure with two of Captain America's friends. The first opening scene is you're over the skies of Tunisia, and you see Sam trying to rescue an American airman captured by Georgia Spatrock, who, if you remember, was in Captain America: Winter Soldier, played by Georges St. Pierre, the MMA fighter. Well, he makes his way back in this one. Um, Here we got Sam, like I said, trying to get the captain back. He jumps out of a C-130, a military transport, using his wing. He's flying after these people that have this American captive. They're using wingsuits, and it's a pretty awesome chase scene. You got him with his Falcon mechanical suit, and then you have these guys using wingsuits, and he's being chased by helicopters who are firing missiles at him, machine guns, going in and out of the canyons. And come to the end there, Georgia St. Pierre character, Georgia Spatrock, flies into a helicopter and thinks he escaped. Well, then you see Falcon come flying through the open doors of the helicopter, grabs the captive, and then plants an explosive. As he's flying through, and Georgia St. Pierre character sees that the helicopter explodes. Falcon rescues the soldier, and George St. Pierre's character escapes. So we'll definitely see him again in the TV show, I would think. So if you remember, the last time we saw Sam Wilson, who is AKA Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie, was at the end of Avengers Endgame when everybody was at the funeral for Iron Man, and the big scene was at the very end where Captain America, Steve, gives Sam his shield. Then he didn't seem like he wanted to take the opportunity, and this episode starts out pretty much the same way. He just does not feel like he's worthy of it. And so then we switch over to Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, who's played by Sebastian Stan again. Remember of him? He was Steve's buddy in World War II, got lost on the train, fell, and then was taken in by Hydra and brainwashed to become one of their best assassins Hydra ever had. He's since been deprogrammed, like everybody knows, and he's rejoined everybody. But his big thing is getting over his past sins. Remember, this guy was an assassin, killed Tony Stark's parents. So that's where you see him in this. The show takes place in the wake of Avengers Endgame. So, billions of people vanished, and now they've all returned after a 5-year absence. You got Bucky just trying to make light of what he's done in his past, and you got Sam supposedly going to be the next Captain America. However, he has a press conference and he decides to give the shield to the government to put into the Captain America exhibit in Washington, Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. But later on, the government decides to present the new Captain America to the world. And that's a kick in the butt for Sam, who thought, hey, I'm giving the shield to be in a museum. Next thing you know, they're introducing the new Captain America, but it's actually, I think it's either going to be Super Patriot or U.S. Agent. And that guy's name is John Walker. So who's not as pure as you want to say that Steve Rogers, because U.S. Agent actually has gotten in fights with Captain in the past, and he's been a puppet for morally questionable politicians. So then we see, Bucky making amends for his dark deeds as a Winter Soldier as he's having a meeting with his psychiatrist. He tells the therapist that he was a little calm in Wakanda. He was deprogrammed there by Captain America and Black Panther and the Wakandans. He was given the name the White Wolf. And, he's starting to come to grips with things, but he just won't open up to the therapist like she wants him to. However, he makes friends with this Asian guy in the bar. They like to have a few toddies together. They have super fun time hanging out. But comes to find out, one of the people that Bucky actually killed as an assassin is this guy's son. The father does not know that, but Bucky does. The show's main villains in this episode, and they're going to probably be throughout, is what they call the Flag Smashers. They're an anarchist group that preferred the world as it was before, after the blip. They without borders. Kind of reminds me of some of the idiots we got running this country right now. And but they're willing to use violence to get this. They gather followers online like a cult. If you remember V for Vendetta, where everyone wears the same mask. They get these people to come and they all put the same mask on, and then you got the few agitators that actually do the crime. There we go. And they pull off a heist, and at least one of them that has superhuman strength, abilities, reflexes, and such. And the show pretty much stops after that, and you can see where they're going with this episode. Anthony Mackie's really good. Sebastian Stan's really good. The show was really good. Off to a pretty good start. However, now we're going to get into the biggie. Hold on a second here. That is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let me start off by saying there will be spoilers in this discussion, so if you haven't seen it, stop right here. That's your warning, because here we go. This movie is totally, and I mean totally different than the one that was released in 2017. This is Zack Snyder's version, and it is truly a far superior film than the first cut. I mean, there's some things that I didn't like, and we'll discuss those at the end when I go over my cons for the movie. But overall, this film was awesome. This shows how much Warner Brothers really screwed the pooch on the original film. The movie is 4 hours and 2 minutes long, but in no way does it feel that. It moves along quickly. The movie is vastly different again from the first movie. Some of the first movie parts are still left in the new release, but they feel more right and actually. And then when they're actually in the new cut, they might be in it, but they're expanded on, and actually you see more of what was supposed to be than what they put in the first movie. That adds more clarity to the situation that those scenes were in, and makes the story better. A couple of the good scenes from the original are actually left out of the movie, but I understand why they did it. The movie is actually set in chapters, and an epilogue is if you're reading a book, and it really works. That's really cool how they did that. Okay, so let's start off with the movie. The first notable difference is the storytelling right from the beginning, as you start out with the death of Superman, and how it's heard around the world, and the ramifications that it sends throughout the world, and most importantly, the universe. And you literally have Superman yelling out after Doomsday stabs him, because this is at the end of BVS. If you haven't known, that's Batman versus Superman. Doomsday stabs Superman, kills him, and he hollers. And as he's hollering, he's sending out sound waves, shock waves of his hollering. And you actually see it around the world. But most importantly, like I said, is it sends message to the big boys up in the universe. The character developments in this movie are much better, especially for two of the main characters in the movie, and that's Barry Allen, the Flash. And you get to see his motives and why he wants to do what he is doing, and how he just wants to feel a part of something, something like he belongs to something. Um, his story in this was really good. However, the biggest backstory development was for Victor Storm, Cyborg, played is much more in depth, and the way he feels about it. You get to see the way he feels about his mother's death, the accident that changed him to what he is, the cyborg, and the way he feels the real disconnect. I almost hate towards his father, and how he feels that his father's always made him feel like a hindrance to him, but he ends up understanding more and being able to deal with it. And then he realizes how powerful he could truly be. Cyborg truly is a powerful character. Um, it's really too bad, because I don't think you're ever going to see Ray Fisher play the Cyborg again, because of his whole crap he pulled with Warner Brothers about racism and pay. He went way over the top on that. So, and they pretty much have already fired him from anything Warner Brothers will ever do, which is too bad, because he actually did a good job as Cyborg in this one. The first cut was bad. This cut was much better. The story arcs for all the characters are so much better, and how they actually end up forming the team and feeling like they are meant to be together for this purpose, and not at each other's throat and using stupid Josh Whedon comedy from the first film. They actually, at the end of this film, actually feel like a team. Whereas the first movie, you didn't feel like they were just a team. You felt like they just threw the guys together to have a movie. That's pretty much what Josh Whedon ended up doing with that movie. At the end, you feel that they are the true Justice League. They are here to protect the Earth. Ben Affleck plays a great Bruce Wayne, Batman. Henry Cavill is awesome as Clark Kent, Superman. Gal Gadot is great as Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. And Jason Momoa was really good in this as Arthur Curry, Aquaman. And his story is better told in this movie than the original. And they also removed the whole surfer bro characterization that they used for him in that the first original cut, which was bad. But they did a much better doing the whole Aquaman story there as well. The introduction of the mother boxes is told in a much better and more detailed way. And the battle scene that took place with the humans, Atlanteans, Amazonians, Zeus, and the Green Lantern Corps versus Darkseid, and his army was absolutely awesome. And how the mother boxes ended up with the three different parties on Earth, that is the humans, the Atlanteans, and the Amazonians, and how important it was to keep them separated and hidden from each other. They really delved into that, whereas in the first movie you just got to say, oh yeah, there's three mother boxes, and Steppenwolf came, found them all like it was no problem. Well, it was actually more in depth than that. They did a great job in this movie of showing the importance of those mother boxes, where they were kept, why they were kept, and how they got them. Because remember, in the first movie, the battle, Darkseid loses and Earth keeps those boxes. The introduction of Steppenwolf, played by Kieran Hines, is miles ahead of the story, miles ahead of the last movie. The CGI is so much better. It's like a living armor. He moves, the armor moves with him. His character is just more in depth as well. You get to see why he's doing what he's doing. He's trying to get back on the good side of Darkseid, as he screwed up in the past. So he's trying to get back on the good side of Darkseid, who is Steppenwolf is actually Darkseid's uncle. If you don't know the comics, he's actually Darkseid's uncle. But Darkseid's a total badass. The opening battle at Themyscira, where Wonder Woman is from, is much more in detail, much more violent, and the story behind it shows what is about to happen to the rest of the Earth as they're looking for these mother boxes. They're going to stop at nothing to get to these mother boxes. The story leading up to the introduction of Darkseid, who was voiced by Ray Porter, and he was awesome. His voice is perfect for Darkseid. He sounded great, and his lieutenants in his army is so much better. And how Darkseid has one purpose, and that is to make the civilization in the universe bend at his will, or he'll destroy them. That's his purpose. Make you bend to his will, or he will destroy you. That is Darkseid's purpose. Period. The resurrection of Superman is told in a much better story. From entering the secret military base, from the rest of the members of the Justice League, to the actual resurrection of Superman himself. The fight between him and the Justice League was pretty much the same, but the whole scene with Batman using that stupid comedy from the first movie, laughing, it was bad. That first movie, it's nowhere to be seen in this one, because the scene is much more intense. Because Superman was about to completely kick Batman's ass, if not kill him, and everybody saw it. You knew it was coming, and there was no stupid comedy to protect him, or throw the scene off. That whole scene with the comedy in that first movie threw that whole part of the movie off. It was bad. The movie is well paced. Every shot and story arc feels like it was meant to be here. And it's set almost perfectly, not like the last movie where things just seemed out of place and confusing. Characters felt like they were thrown together using stupid comedy. Aquaman sitting on Wonder Woman's lasso and saying things. It was just, the comedy was not good. It's not good at all in that last movie. However, the comedy that is used in this cut is well placed, and it meant something. The end when Justice League is together and fighting Steppenwolf for the mother boxes is excellent. Better shot, better story. And again in Justice League, the Justice League is losing until to Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf is kicking their ass. It's a classic scene, but they still get the mother boxes from becoming one, because you get to see. Let me back up just a second. They're getting their butts kicked. Well, Superman shows up, and Steppenwolf uses the axe on Superman. It hits him. It doesn't do anything. Superman looks at the axe, blows on it, freezes it, smashes it. So then they were able to start getting back on the offense against Steppenwolf, which leads Cyborg able to start trying to pull the boxes apart. However, they don't. They fuse together. So technically, they lost. However, Barry Allen, the Flash, this sets up a lot for hopefully future movies for DC. He is actually able to use the Speed Force and is able to reverse time. That actually shows how powerful the Flash is. So he reverses time just enough so Superman is actually able to go in there and help pull apart the mother boxes. And at that time, you start seeing a portal forming over on the side on this like catwalk where they're all fighting, but you see this portal forming, and in that portal you see Darkseid, Granny Goodness, his other lieutenants, and Darkseid's army. And what you see Aquaman and Wonder Woman fighting Steppenwolf. Aquaman stabs him. Superman sees that, he flies through the air, punches him. As he's flying through the air, Wonder Woman comes down, decapitates Steppenwolf, who flies through the time portal that shows up and lands in front of Darkseid. Darkseid walks up, steps on the head, crushes the head, and pretty much says, I will do this myself. So I'm hoping that means they're going to try to do a Justice League too. Even though Josh Whedon, I'm not Josh Whedon, thank God, not Josh Whedon. Zack Snyder said no, he will not do another movie for Warner Brothers. I hope they can talk him into coming back and doing it. You place all this introduction of characters together, the great storytelling, how the story flows, it all blends together, and in the end, you get a movie worth watching, and you will never want to watch the original one again. A great, like I've said before, a great thing that they did in this movie was the removal of the comedy. That was not. It was Batman. The comedy that they had Batman and Superman use in that first movie just did not work. Like I said, there is some comedy in this movie, but it fits the scene and the time. And this movie was not like the first one. It wasn't meant to be kid friendly. Period. As for kid friendly, this film is much darker, more adult oriented. The violence is there, and they do swear, especially in the post apocalyptic scene, which I'll talk about here in a bit. And oh, we did get a major character introduction in this movie. That's the Martian Manhunter, who first showed up as he was playing Martha Kent. And then at the end of the movie, he comes and sees Bruce Wayne and tells him, look, I've been here for a long time. If you ever need his help, he is here. I love the Martian Manhunter. It was so cool in seeing him being introduced, and hopefully we'll see more of him. The character looked good. The face was off just a little bit, but it was good. It was good. Another thing I really liked about this movie is the movie is set in the 4:3:3 ratio compared to the widescreen format that most everybody uses right now. That ratio fit perfect for the movie because you get to see the taller aspect of things instead of the widescreen. Let's see where am I at now. My cons on the movie. With every film, there's some things that we don't like as people, as film goers. Mine, the time of the movie, I think they could have easily trimmed, maybe a half hour off, and still told a very, very excellent story, and still be cohesive with it. But this is what you get when you let a director have the film he wanted. Like I said earlier, it was a 4-hour, 2-minute movie, but it didn't feel like you were sitting there. But there was some stuff that could have been taken out and just stripped down a little. Another thing that it kind of got to me in a little bit was Zack Snyder. He loves his slow motion work, and he uses it a lot in this movie. A couple scenes just made the scene drag out a little too long, but it didn't take you out of the movie completely. It was just the scene could have been cut just a little shorter. The music score was good for the most part. A couple songs that they had in certain parts of the movie that just didn't fit. Amber Heard as Mira. I'm not a huge fan of her in this role. And she just wasn't good. And she wasn't good in the Aquaman movie either. I mean, she's okay, but this one here, she had an English accent all of a sudden, which was weird. And yeah, that's my review. Oh, the post-apocalyptic scene. This is set after Darkseid destroys the world. And it's pretty cool because you get to see Batman dressed up in his post-apocalyptic outfit. You see Cyborg, Flash, and Harley Quinn. They're all teamed up. You see Deathstroke, who looked awesome in this movie, especially the ending. I would love to see a Batman Deathstroke movie. Deathstroke's a badass. As you do actually see a scene where he's talking to Lex Luthor and how he wants to pay back Batman because of the loss of his eye. But you see those characters, and he's talking. Next thing you know, you hear somebody talking to him. You've seen this on the trailer, and that's Jared Leto's Joker. And it's the conversation those two have together, pretty dark. Pretty dark when pretty much Batman, Bruce Wayne, looks right at him. He goes, I'll fucking kill you. That was awesome. That was awesome. And then they're all worried about somebody hunting them, and they're like, "Look, we got to get out of here before he finds us." Next thing you know, you hear a sonic boom, and Superman lands. Superman's bad in that post-apocalyptic dream. It was a bad scene, badass scene. But he goes, "I'll fucking kill you." I laughed. I couldn't believe it. But the conversation they had was dark about how he could let the Boy Wonder do a man's job, and how Boy Wonder ended up getting killed. It was great. Great scene. Some people don't like it because it was a little too long. I loved it. Loved every bit of that scene. So, my final thing for this movie, I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. I'm hoping for Justice League 2. Hoping Snyder does it, but I'm not going to hold my breath for it. But I would give it an 8 out of 10. Solid movie. One thing I need to mention, and a lot of people don't like The Man of Steel or Batman versus Superman, and they're not going to like this film because they don't like the way Zack Snyder portrayed these characters. However, you get because they don't truly reflect the old Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the characters that you saw in the 50s and 70s, and that is true. It doesn't. These characters are more based on the New 52, the Rebirth comics from the 2000s, the second series of Wonder Woman, which ran in the 1980s, and the more modern Flash runs. That's what these movies are tended to be running on. Not on the 50s, 60s, and 70s characters, but on the more modern take on these characters. I love classic Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, all them. And I'd love to see them do some sort of movie with them as a classic, but that's not going to happen. The movie going audience that we're getting now is the younger generation, and that's what they're looking at is the modern comics, and that's the way they're going to run it. I I love the old characters, but we're not going to see that. We're going to see the more modern take on these characters, for good or bad, and it's been good and bad. I think Man of Steel is a great movie. Batman versus Superman was okay. The original Justice League, which came out in 2007, was not very good, and this one was freaking awesome. So that's my review of Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be back on Friday for my comic and collecting videos. Got a lot of comics, some good toys, some pops, stuff to show. Then next Sunday, I'll be back here for a movie TV talk, and we'll have a bigger slate of topics. And then remember, March 31st, Godzilla vs. Kong. Last trailer was just dropped, and it was awesome. So you guys, take care of yourself. Remember, watch what you want to watch. Enjoy it. All right, guys, have a good night.